Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dano, aka Daniela, and sorry about the sound. I have my fan blowing over to my left. Um, I wanted to make this video because I saw this video from a guy named Rolando Bass, or Bass, I don't know how you pronounce it. Um, I was watching a video of his that he had made about a few weeks ago about him being pulled over and harassed by the same fucking cop. The reason why I want to make this video is because I want to talk about how this shit really does happen. Hasn't happened to me, but it has happened to family members. It has happened to people I've known personally. I mean, you can even find videos and people talking about their own experiences online. And this is just one of the many examples of black people being targeted by white police officers. And what does white society say? Oh, there's no such thing as fucking racism. Fuck you. If you believe that shit, which I know you truly don't believe it, but if you say that shit, you are a fucking problem. I have no love for you at all. I don't give a fuck if you're black, white, whatever. Because you're bullshitting yourself when you said that there's no fucking racism. And for you black people, I dislike you even more. Why? Because you live in this fucking system and you refuse to accept this is how the system is. You sit there and lie to yourselves and tell yourself that racism is not a real thing here in the United States. Just like back in the day where Malcolm X had that interview with some white guy, some white reporter, and then that white reporter did what the devils fucking do. They go behind your back and then they ask somebody else, you know, to go against what you're saying. And he went up and asked like this fucking coon. And he was like, oh no, I don't see any problem with how things are going on right now. And this is when black people were still openly, legally being lynched in the South. You know, so there was always gonna be fucking coons, and I hate those people the fucking most. It's funny because the other day some person called me a coon. No, he called me a Sambo, and because I had made a comment towards this bad wench. There's this woman who has a channel. I can't remember her name because she's very insignificant. She's not what's the one bad wench's name? The sister who has a lot of following. I can't remember her name, but it's not her. It's some other small girl. She has biracial kids. She makes videos basically for white guys entertainment. Like seriously, I mean the videos that she make are seriously made to entertain white guys. And she usually talks about like sometimes she talks about controversial stuff about like race and stuff like that, but usually she's taking a side of fucking white people. I mean, she is another level of coon. See, with the other sister, can't remember her name right now. Crystal and Karazan. At least with her, she does talk about race issues, and she's not like a true sellout in that area. Like she will admit that there's racism, stuff like that, and I respect her on that level for at least keeping it real. But when it comes to the whole bad wench thing and degrading black men and stuff like that, I can't roll with that. Or I can't support that. But this one, on the other hand, like she's a bad wench, and she's just like totally for white. Like she's one of those people she's one of those black women who you will find amongst like say if there's 10 white guys hanging out like at a bar or something like that, she'd be the only fucking black girl hanging out with those 10 white guys. Not even with females around. I'm just talking about with 10 white guys, she'd be that one and only female, and on top of that, only black female hanging out with a bunch of guys. That's the type of black chick she is. And when you're like that, you're definitely on another coon fucking level for real. But she always rides out for white people and always sides with white people when it comes to race issues and shit that's going on here in this country. But anyways, why did I bring her up? Because I don't know why I brought her up. I kind of lost my train of thought. But anyways, people like her deny. That's why I brought her up, because people like her deny that there's a real problem when it comes to racism here in this country. She will deny the shit. I mean, if you go and look at her videos, I can't remember her name, but if I find her, I'll put her in the description. She tries to deny the racist shit that goes on. There's a lot of fucking black people here in this country who aren't even like, they won't even consider themselves sellouts. It's not like they're dating white people or they have a bunch of white friends. They just truly believe that there's no fucking racism. or they refuse to believe that there's racism just because it's 2016. I swear to God, because a lot of black people have woken up over the past, I would say, 2 years, especially in the past 2 years. A lot of black people have woken up, and I think it's because of the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Because if you notice, Black Lives Matter really kicked off about 2 years ago. And that's when a lot of black people, I think, started to really wake up to this whole racist issue. Because almost ever since I've been on Facebook, I would say probably about 5 years ago, to this day, starting 5 years ago, I always talked about race and race issues on my Facebook. None of my friends, none of my family members would talk about it. I mean, the only people that will really talk about it to me were people who were on my friends list, but I never met personally. You know, we just have the same ideas and the same thoughts. But people who I physically knew, I'm talking about hundreds of people that I physically know, met, went to school with, stuff like that, never say anything about it. I was like the only person saying it. But over the years, I start to see that more and more people started to wake up, because I've been calling this shit out for the longest. People even added my ass for shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Even my teachers, white teachers, even black teachers unadded me. You know, a teacher who is actually a family member, who is she's married to my cousin-in-law, basically married to my cousin-in-law. So she's like family or whatever. She was also my teacher at one point. She unadded me because of me always bringing up race issues, real fucking race issues that happen in this country. So yeah, there are black people who are fucking sellouts. There are black people who refuse to acknowledge that there is a fucking real race issue here in this country. And people like this prove it. I mean, people like this brother, like the situation that this brother is in, proves it. You know, he has other videos of this same fucking cop harassing him, pulling him over for no fucking reason. In this video, well, not in this video, but in another video, I think he goes to pick up his kids, and the cop is out there right outside in the parking lot waiting for him to fuck with him. So, of course, the cop turns on his lights, pulled the brother over, and as the brother parks the car, he takes off his seatbelt. And he's like getting ready to reach for his papers and stuff like that. That's why he took off his seatbelt. And the cop, so he asked the cop, so may I ask why you pulled me over? And the cop said to him, oh, because you didn't have your seatbelt on. Bull fucking shit. Bullshit. This man had his seatbelt on. And see, cops can use anything. They can make up any fucking thing to have your ass arrested. If they want you arrested, they can have you arrested. If they want to kill you, they can kill you. They can shoot and kill you and say, oh, he had a gun on him. Or, oh, he was resisting, even when he wasn't. You know, look at Philando Castile. Look at him and all the other brothers and sisters who were shot and killed and didn't even raise a finger. You know what I'm saying? So, this shit happens. Now, this video, he took it to court, and the cop didn't show up. But somehow, some way, the judge ordered a continuance over a fucking seatbelt violation. Who does that? Like, I mean, what courtroom really does that shit? That's why I'm not afraid of cops. I'm not afraid of cops, but I have caution when there's cops around me, period, just because I know how fucked up a lot of them are, and I know how easily south a situation can go just because they can want it to, and they will most likely get away with it. I mean, it's very rare that you see cops actually not being reprimanded, but are being prosecuted for killing unarmed people. Rarely do you see that shit happen. It happens, but it's rare. You know? But, you know, most of these cops, they're not here to fucking help us at all. That's why it's very... what can I say? It's great when you actually see a cop doing his actual job. Like, I mean, I actually get kind of happy when I see a cop actually doing their fucking job, because, you know, just like a couple weeks ago, I think I made a video talking about how, I made a video earlier, I think it was last week, earlier this week, where I made a video and I mentioned that my neighbors across the street, they had a shootout about 2 weeks ago. It was about 2-3 weeks ago. And the cops actually came over like less than 2 minutes, kicked in the door, and had those guys arrested and shipped them out. I was happy that they did it because they were actually doing their fucking job. But most of the times, cops don't do their fucking job. Period. Um, just a couple weeks ago, I think it was like a month ago, my dad, he's with a white woman, and her daughter boyfriend, who was a white guy, um, had threatened my dad, had threatened to lynch him and everything like that, like on audio. Like my dad did the smart thing, he recorded the shit and he presented to the cops saying, "Hey, this guy, he threatened to." No, well, at first, my dad didn't show an audio. He just said, "Hey," he just filed a police report saying that this guy threatened me. He threatened to lynch me, stuff like that. The cops didn't even give a fuck. So then my dad actually showed them the audio tape, and they didn't even want to listen to it. Even though Ohio is a one person consent state, so you can record somebody, and as long as you have the knowledge that you're recording them, you can actually use that shit, in your argument. You can even use that shit in court. But a lot of times here in Ohio, even though you can do that, they don't even like to listen to the shit. So the cops, they tell him like, "Oh yeah, whatever, just file a police report and we'll just process it," and shit like that. So they didn't even give a fuck, and nothing happened out of this shit. The cops didn't do anything about it. No, um, no. They didn't give, they didn't try to pull up any damn charges. They didn't get no restraining order. They didn't do nothing about this. So there's a lot of times where black people go through this stuff and they have to deal with fucking corrupt cops and bad cops who aren't even here to even fucking help or police the fucking neighborhood or police the community in general. That's why I truly believe that cops should represent, like the police force should represent the demographic of the neighborhood or the precincts that they're in. So say if a precinct is an African American, a predominantly African American neighborhood, that is how that precinct should look. And it's the same, I think it should be the same thing everywhere. If it's a city with, if it's a neighborhood with almost completely white people, that's the way it should be. The police force should represent the community, period. Because I believe that everybody has their own people in their best interest. You know what I'm saying? So if we have more African American cops policing black neighborhoods, they will be less likely to take shit to the extreme. They will rather de-escalate situations rather than, have a fucking shootout because somebody pulled out a BB gun, or just because somebody had take their hands out of their pocket, or just because somebody had made a movement. I mean, because there's literally people who are shot and killed just from simply moving. Like I watched a video about a few months back where a guy, he just had his hands in his pockets and he was taking his hands out of his pockets to raise his hands, and midway through raising his hands, cops shot him full of holes. So and this guy, I think he was either Mexican or black, I can't remember. I think he was like Hispanic. So if it was a Hispanic cop, it would, he would have most likely have not shot him. He probably would have tried to de-escalate it before doing anything else. Because when you look at these videos, and it's funny because white people love bringing up how white people are shot and killed more by cops than black people are, which is true, but they never look at a percentage. I mean, when you look at the percentage of black people killed versus white people, more black people are actually being shot by cops percentage-wise, like according to our race. Yeah, there's gonna be more white people being killed and shot by cops simply because there are way more fucking white people here in this country. And also, this is another thing that white people don't like to talk about. According to statistics, white people are more likely to shoot fucking cops than black people are. They are more likely to try to shoot and kill a cop than a black person. So, them being killed more would make more sense, but them being killed more is simply just because of there being way more white people than fucking black people. But the crazy thing is that more black people who are unarmed are shot and killed than white people who are actually armed with guns, because you can actually see a lot of videos out there where white people have their fucking rifles and they're in a fucking standoff for the cop, and the cop is sitting there pleading with the person to drop the gun. And I remember seeing this one video where this guy had a fucking rifle in the middle of the street. He shot at people, and even after shooting at people, the cops were trying to de-escalate it, begging this guy, begging him. And then finally, I think he lifted up his gun, was about to shoot at the cops, and they shot him in his leg. Why can they do this, with all these other black people that they're shooting down that don't even have fucking weapons? Like the guy that they shot in his back while he was going towards his car. Lit his ass up while he was going to a car. I seen many videos where cops are, de-escalating situations with white people, which they shouldn't. Where these people actually have guns and are shooting at cops, and cops are like, put the guns down, put the guns down. I seen videos where cops are fucking killed trying to de-escalate situations to where they should just be returning fire, period. But with fucking black people, they don't give a damn. They just, you just do make the wrong fucking move, period, and they'll light your ass up. So people saying that there is no real race issue, there's no racism here in this country, you are out of your fucking mind, or you're just in straight up denial, or you're just trolling, period. Because a lot of white people said they're just fucking trolls. Look at the whole incident with Joey Salads. All those people with high IQs talking about black people with low IQs all fell for a motherfucker with a low IQ. Look at Joey Salad's interviews with H3H3 and with Tommy Sotomayor. You could tell this dude. You could tell that this dude was the flunky of his fucking class. You could tell this guy has a low IQ. And yet, all these motherfucking white racist motherfuckers out here with these high IQs fell for this motherfucker who has a low IQ. So that just tells you something about them. I think it's hilarious. I'm a nigger with a low IQ according to them, but I knew the shit was baloney before they even blew the lid off the damn thing. So that just shows you, people are just ridiculous. People are just trolls. And white people, they just need any fucking reason, even if it's so insignificant, just to hate black people. Like the whole Cincinnati Zoo thing. They hated on the father who wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? They showed their racist fucking teeth over something that the man had nothing to do with. But that's white people. That's fucking white people, period, man. Yeah, there's some white people out there that are good and actually care, but majority of them do not fucking care. Majority of them know what the fuck they're doing. Just like Shaun King said, that this whole system of racism is not a broken system. It is a fine-oiled, fine-tuned machine, and it's working exactly how they want it to work, and it's so true. I'm not affiliated with Black Lives Matter at all. I even believe that organization is set up by the elites and stuff like that. But a lot of shit that they be saying is true, and I'm not gonna ignore truth. Period. Whatever. I don't give a fuck where it comes from. If it comes from Black Lives Matter, who I don't mess with, even if it comes from Tommy Sotomayor, who I don't mess with, if he's speaking the truth, I'm there with him 100%. You know what I'm saying? Just like the interview that he had with Joey Salads. That shit was legit for the most part. I felt what Tommy Sotomayor was saying, at least like 90% of the shit he was saying. But the shit he said against black women and shit like that, I don't agree with that all the time. So yeah, there's some shit that I can't agree with, but I don't agree with that shit all the time. Same thing with Tariq. Same thing with about everybody out there. I like the truth. And that's basically what I roll with. But anyways, people saying that this shit is not real, it is. Look at this man's case. Cops harassing him. So that's why I give Corrine Gaines the benefit of the doubt that, yeah, cops were probably fucking with her. Because I know that after a while, when you keep bringing shit up to the cops over and over again, that, hey, this cop is fucking with me, or shit is happening, sometimes they will come out and they will just fuck with you for no reason. Like, even my sister, she lived on the north side of Columbus, and there was even cops over there that was fucking with her, that she didn't like. You know what I'm saying? That was fucking with her and pulling her over and shit like that. So this shit is real. This shit is real. Even the same thing with my dad. Like, there's even some cops that be like fucking with him and shit. So this shit happens. You can't say that this shit doesn't happen. This country is a fucking racist ass country. And white people that deny it, they know exactly what they're doing. They're enabling the fucking system. So they're just as bad. Because they may not say that they're racist. Like Joey Salad, he said that he's not racist. Yet, he has helped perpetuating racist bullshit stereotypes of black people, making black people seem violent. And then when the white people leave comments on his videos saying, oh, nigger this, nigger that, kill these niggers, they're nothing but animals and all this shit, he doesn't do anything at all. He doesn't moderate none of his comments. It was funny because he was just bullshitting. I know Tommy saw his bullshit. Tommy knew that he was bullshitting the whole time. Even H3H3 knew he was bullshitting the whole time. And they called him on all his bullshit. The guy is really stupid, man. He's just like a kid that got caught with his fucking hand in the cookie jar. Like, He was so fucking obviously lying. But yeah, I mean, they were trying to get up out of him. Are you racist? He say no. He says no, but nah, that's complete bullshit. He's a racist dude. I mean, when you look at his fucking Twitters, his little Twitter feed, he says a bunch of shit that a lot of racists say. And just even his fucking videos alone speaks a lot. You know, so fuck his bitch ass, his phony ass. But yeah, this shit's real. That's all I have to say because I gotta leave. Talk to you guys later. Peace.